here you are, Pac-10 Sports Talk. Thanks for checking us out. This segment in Week 13 of the NCAA football season, we're going to do some national predictions. We're going to start off with Oklahoma going to play Oklahoma State. Joel, where's this going?
Bedlam. It's hard to go against Oklahoma. They've dominated the series. They're since 1904. They're 85-15-7, winning the last 7, and actually the last 5 have been blowouts. But in this game, both defenses are marginal. I'm going to go with the more balanced, they're both high-octane defense or offenses, but I'm going to go with the most balanced of the two, which I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. That can not only beat you with the run, but they can beat with the pass. I'm going with Oklahoma State in this, 41-35.
Yep, the most lopsided FBS rivalry game in America. You know, no defense in this game. I think these two slug it out. You know, this is a chance to play for the Big 12 championship. I just think, like Joel was saying, Oklahoma State, just more of a balanced offensive team. And I'm going to go with Oklahoma State in this one at Boone Pickens Stadium, 42-35.
You know, Oklahoma hasn't measured up well against the elite teams. They've lost to the best 2 teams they played on Missouri and Texas A&M. Both those games were on the road, and Oklahoma doesn't play well on the road. Their offense dips down from rushing average of 188 yards down to 97. It can't happen against Oklahoma State. I'm going with the Cowboys 37-31.
Okay, Mississippi State, Mississippi. Jeremy, where do you
Ole Miss just hasn't been consistent for me to pick them this year. You know, Mississippi State's kind of proved they can play with the big boys. I'm just going to cut to the chase. You know, hey, I like Chris Ralph going into Oxford and winning 27-21.
This game, usually the home team has the advantage, although in Oxford this year, I don't think that's the case. Ask Jacksonville State and Vandy this year, both beat them on their home turf. Yeah. I see this as a defensive struggle, but ultimately I'm going to pick Mississippi State, mainly because they make less mistakes. Mississippi is 101st in turnovers, in the turnover margin, and Mississippi State is 13th. So that means they're going to capitalize on these turnovers. I'm going to go with Mississippi State 28-21.
Well, I'm going to be the odd man out here. I'm going to go with Jeremiah Masoli. This is his last game. He was a big star at Oregon. Got thrown off the team. Last chance to impress NFL scouts. I don't know if he impresses the scouts enough to get another chance at another level, a higher level.
Because he's 5'2".
But I think he wins the game. I'm going to go with Mississippi 32, Mississippi State 28.
Okay, number 5 LSU playing number 12 Arkansas. Jack.
Well, you know that the LSU-Arkansas series has been a hot series over the last 5 years. It's been decided by 3-1, 2-5, and 2 points. So this will probably go right down to the wire again. It's going to be a matchup that Arkansas's passing against LSU's really stingy pass defense. But we found that really good quarterbacks can move the ball on LSU. So we'll see how that works out. But they are playing the best quarterback they played all year in Ryan Mallett. So, but I'm going to go with Arkansas 34, LSU 20, and that's going to spoil any fantastical scenarios of LSU making to the title game.
You know, and if I wasn't actually watching the Buffalo at Akron game, you know, I'd be watching this game.
I watched that game myself.
It's going to be a good one. You know, LSU has just found a way to win football games, like Jack was saying.
Yeah.
Just a way to pull it out and get the win. You know, if they hadn't lost to Auburn, we'd be talking about LSU for the national title. Like I said last week, when it comes down to this game, Arkansas's got the best player on the field, and that's Ryan Mallett, on a roll. You know, Arkansas's got the better offense in this one. Pretty evenly matched teams. I'm going to go with Arkansas 38-30.
Tough to go against LSU. They're 10-1. They're only lost to Auburn. Not bad. And they just find ways to win. Call it luck, call it whatever, but they win. But I'm going to go with the hot team here. Arkansas has won their last 5 games, and in that 5-game stretch, they've been averaging 43 points. Mallett, I think, offensively, they're just too explosive, and I'm going to say the luck runs out for the Tigers. I'm going to go Arkansas 31-21.
It's unanimous.
Okay, number 17 Texas A&M playing Texas. Joel.
Hard to believe Texas, was this the same team that played in the national championship last year? Because they're trying to fight for bowl eligibility this week. You have 2 teams going 2 different routes. You have Texas A&M, who's won 5 straight against 3 ranked opponents. You have Texas, who's lost 7 out of the last 9. I'm going to go with the momentum. I'm going to go with Texas A&M on this one. I'm going to go with 35-20.
Yep, disappointing year for the Longhorns. They're going to finish last in the Big 12 South.
Wow.
You know, as my friend Fred Willard would say, what happened? You know, when is the last time that happened? They finished last. You know, Tannehill has the Aggies on a roll since he's been in the lineup. They're going to get it done in Austin. 24-20. I kind of think Texas is suffering from amnesia. You know, they've kind of forgotten who they are.
Yeah. You know, A&M was so impressive defensively last game. Unbelievable. And on the other hand, the Longhorns, they don't run the ball especially well, and they turn the ball over a lot in the passing game. So I don't think that's going to work against Texas A&M. So I'm going with the Aggies, 30-22.
Okay, Jeremy, West Virginia's playing Pittsburgh.
This is going to be a battle of defense. I think this game really comes down to a special teams play, a big pass. This game virtually statistically identical. I mean, West Virginia has got the same stats as Pittsburgh. I'm going to give the edge to West Virginia simply because I think they've got a better looking mascot. 17-13.
Oh.
As my friend Arnold used to say, "What you talking about, Wes?" I'm gonna. This game, the last 3 games have been decided by 11 points total. I see no difference in this game. It's going to be a tight one. Ultimately, it comes down to Pitt's up and down rushing offense against the stingy defense of West Virginia that's only been giving up 88 yards a game. But I think Dion Lewis and that Pitt offense will just have enough and make enough plays on defense to win this game in a close one. I'm going to go 21-19 Pitt Panthers.
Well, I have to agree. This year's edition of the Backyard Brawl is a dead heat, like Jeremy said. Usually I can find something to hang my hat on to support a team. I can't find anything in this game, so I'm going to go with home field advantage. I'm going to go with Pitt 21, West Virginia 19.
Okay.
West Virginia.
Wow,
wins.
that's original.
All right, Jack, number 2, Auburn going to play number 11, Alabama.
Well, this is the game of the century for the Auburn team. This is the major roadblock in the path to playing in the national title. But sadly, I don't see a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for the Tigers. So I wouldn't advise Auburn fans right now to buy a ticket for Glendale, Arizona. I think Alabama, they played in a lot of big games in their storied history. I think they get just enough stops and score just enough points to pull off the win. I got Alabama 29, Auburn 27.
Okay.
In this year's Iron Bowl, the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. For all you guys out there that like matchup and gals who, this pits the number 5 scoring offense in Auburn against the number 3 scoring defense in Alabama. Something's going to have to give there. Alabama playing at home. I got to give the edge to Alabama. The guys are going to be. These two teams hate each other, and I just think McElroy. Since the guy can't play for a national title, neither can Auburn. So I'm going to go with Alabama 31-28, close one.
For all the talk of Auburn's offense, Alabama's got some threats as well. Julio Jones, they've got McElroy, and they've got Richardson, and they also got, I think, a guy who won the Heisman last year as well.
What's his name?
Yeah, and they're going against Auburn, who they've shown and proven that they give up a lot of points. And plus, Alabama has a 20-game win streak at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I can't go against that. I'm going to go Alabama 28-24.
Okay.
No love for number 1.
No.
Well,
Okay, so number
Sorry,
4, Boise State's going to go play Nevada.
This is a nightmare for offensive coordinators. Both teams average over 500 yards per game. But to me, Nevada really hasn't proven themselves. They haven't earned their little stripe. In fact, their strength of schedule right now is 88th in the nation. I think they're going to be a little shock and awe when they play Boise State, both offensive and defensively. Boise State's going to manhandle them. I'm going to go with 45-31 Boise State.
Yeah, this is the game that all the Mountain West fans have circled. If you're a Boise State fan or if you're a Wolfpack fan, this is the game they've circled before the season. Boise State has given up 55 points in the last 7 games. 20 of that to Louisiana Tech. Credible defensive team. Boise State ranks in the top 10 in almost every category, probably besides punting. Nevada, tremendous juggernaut offensively. However, Boise State wins this one 35-21 because I think they're going to expose a shaky defense or shaky pass defense in Nevada.
as we're kind of hitting on, when you think about Boise State, you kind of think about Kellen Moore and that great offense of theirs. But man, I'll tell you what, that defense is great. Nevada is a high-scoring team. They put up 52 points against that schizophrenic California defense. However, they haven't played a defense nearly as good as this one, and I don't see them prevailing. I got Boise State 38, Nevada 28.
Okay, Jeremy, number 18, South Carolina is going to play Clemson.
It's going to be a good one. Last several years, South Carolina hasn't done very well. They've lost their last 10 out of the last 13. But I really like Garcia, and the way he's led this team, to one of the best years in Columbia since 2001. I like the fact that South Carolina's got some better playmakers in Garcia and the freshman phenom Marcus Lattimore. You know, this is going to be a grind of a game, but I'm going with Gamecocks 21-17.
Yeah, South Carolina, first of all, better not be overlooking Clemson because they already got a spot in the SEC championship game next week against Florida, or not Florida, but Auburn. And so they already got that game already queued up. So hopefully they're not overlooking them. And also, if Stephen Garcia, if you do watch the show, you need to get a haircut because that thing's looking pretty sloppy. But that's besides the point.
In a good way.
For South Carolina, they just need to pound the ball. If they get to the point where Lattimore is not successful and they rely on Stephen Garcia's arm, which in big games he tends to throw a lot of interceptions, they could be in trouble. But I think that they are able to. Lattimore will have a big game, and therefore I see South Carolina winning this game 32-28.
Well, you know, for all the talk of SEC dominance, you know, when they play outside the SEC, they play teams that are 500 or better. They're only 5-4 on the season. And Clemson is a really good team, as witnessed the game earlier they played during the year when they lost to Auburn barely on a missed field goal attempt. So, close game, but I'm going to pick South Carolina 29-23.
Okay, last game we want to talk about is Florida playing the 22nd Florida State University. Jack?
You know, I think Florida State's body of work in this game sticks out over Florida's. You know, Florida doesn't pass the ball especially well, and they're 7th in the SEC in rushing defense. I guess in rushing, I mean, and the Seminole defense is really good. I don't see Florida being able to score enough to win this game, so I'm going to go with Florida State on this one, 30-29. Tight game.
You know, gosh, we talked earlier. Statistically, I really don't see an advantage or disadvantage in either teams for this game. I'm just going with the home field advantage. If you take a look at the history, just straight up last 10 years, home field wins 60% of the time, regardless of the spread. You know, two programs not record-wise by the measure that they measure their football team not doing very well. I'm just throwing all the stats out the window. I don't really have any stats on this game. I'm just going with the home team. You know, my favorite teams that I pick each week are the teams that I want to win or that I pick to win. You know, I'm a huge Seminole fan this week. I'm going with Seminoles 28-27.
Well, yeah.
Enough said.
Well, Florida State has been Florida's whipping boy for the last couple of years.
6 years in a row.
Yeah, losing 6 in a row. And so for them, they have to start off fast if you're Florida State. In fact, the last 5 games, they have fallen behind. They've ended up winning 3 out of those 5. But for them, in a game where you just constantly lose, you got to show that confidence and you got to come out with a fast start. And I think ultimately Florida's their strength is rushing. They're going to go against Florida State's rush defense, which is 17th in the nation, also 2nd in the nation in sacks. I think that they're rushing into Florida State's best part of their defense, and I think to the strength of their defense, and I think Florida State ends up winning this 20-17.
Okay, there you have it, the national predictions for this week. Thanks for checking out Pac-10 Sports Talk. We really want to know what your comments are, so leave it on YouTube, leave it on Facebook, and check us out next week.
Do it.
Do it.